First, I want to pray to the Almighty Parampita Parameshwar, to the Eternal Master. Want to pray to the Eternal Master, Swam Siddh Sadguru, Abhyas Siddh Sadguru, and Parampara Sadguru, to the present Master Sadguru Sri Swatantra Devji Maharaj and Sant Pravar Sri Vigyan Devji Maharaj, also our inspirational international coordinator Sant Sri Namdevji Maharaj. My name is Amit More and currently authorized instructor and international coordinator for Vihangam Yoga South Africa. I work as a petrochemical specialist with South Africa's largest parastatal company called Transnet. Also founder of various social organizations by the grace of Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj. Today, I have assigned to deliver a short discourse on accomplish big in life. So it's not easy to be successful or to accomplish big in our life. There are a lot of challenges and distractions, and this discourse will tell you how to overcome of that and achieve progress in life. I have decided to share my personal experience, and for that I feel there are few points which are very important, which can change our life. The first is education or knowledge. Second is personality development. Third is out-of-box thinking. Fourth is to be a trendsetter. Then meditation or mind control, and trust and surrenderness in Sadguru Dev. I have grown up in Vihangam Yoga culture and Vihangam Yoga scriptures and guidance of Sadguru Dev. So there are many important books and scriptures which enlighten us for a huge success. Let us understand the education and knowledge from Vishwarajya Vidhan and also Bal Shiksha by His Holiness Sadguru Sri Sadafal Devji Maharaj. Sadguru says there are many types of education, and language is not an education. It is a different thing. Every country has its own language to communicate. Some countries have multiple languages to communicate. There are 14 types of education and 64 types of arts, for which we have different types of masters to teach. That language is the best in the world, which has maximum number of education. Further, Sadguru has divided the education or knowledge in 5 categories. The first is commercial knowledge, second is social knowledge, third is political knowledge, fourth is religious knowledge, and the fifth is spiritual knowledge. As we stay in materialistic world, it's very important that we have a commercial knowledge. One need to have a basic knowledge of what we earn versus what we spend. And it's very simple that we can make one Excel sheet and do the tally and understand about our expenses. Then it's also important to have a knowledge about the business or investments in the commercial field. Secondly, we need to have social knowledge. What happens around us in the society and in the world is very important. Swamiji says, to understand responsibilities, duties of human life, one gets educated and not for the food or clothes. Further, we need to have a political knowledge. Swamiji says, in the light of spirituality, one can do best politics. Spirituality is the soul of politics. A quality of a dharmi or a religious person is dharma. Politics is also a dharma. One who understands the secrets of dharma and politics is a real intellectual person, and he is well-wisher of this world. Then it's very important to have a religious knowledge for a person. Swamiji says, one must only learn knowledge by which country, human, society and religion progresses. One which destroys above is an uneducated person, and such kind of knowledge is like a poison which must be discarded. He further says it's essential to study holy scriptures like Bijak, Swarveda, Vigyan Darshan and Ved, Vedangs, Upanishad, Shat Darshan, Manusmruti first. After learning above scriptures, one may read other religion books, but not when your heart is not pure and without knowledge of your own religion. The parents who do not teach Vedas, holy scriptures, Indian languages and keep target of job for their kids and teach them other language first are destroying them by making them uneducated. Further, he says, don't be happy by learning of Vedas and Vedangas. To achieve knowledge of Paravidya or Vyangam Yoga, one needs to go in the physical service of Sadguru for a few days. He also says the attitude of life which only sees personal benefit but damages the society should be thrown out like a poison. The attitude is best where first country gets benefited and later ourselves, and not one who follows this is called as a best person. One who takes money by ignorance and work against God, Dharma, and promotes atheism are bad sinner and our biggest enemy of the country and the world. We need to have a spiritual knowledge. Swamiji says, spiritual life is the best life, hence one must always try to become spiritual. It's very important that we become spiritual from our childhood, and in Vishwarajya Vidhan, Swamiji has given importance of the spirituality for the students, and I really want to re-quote that here. He says that some schools and colleges, there are teachers, professors or principals, those who are atheist. One who doesn't believe in God, who are causing huge damage to the kids and the students. Not only students, but such kind of atheists are causing huge damage to the entire world. Students who must get education will return uneducated due to such kind of atheist teachers, and their lives will go on the path of devil and finally will get destroyed. It's very important that we never listen or learn anything from atheists. So now we have understood about the knowledge or education. Then next, it's very important about a personality development. I personally feel that we need to be humble and polite because that's the teaching of the Sadgurudev. One doesn't become higher due to by-hearting words, books, and one doesn't become lower if he doesn't do that. Person with good character and behavior is a higher and a characterless person is a lower. I also believe respect your elders, your parents, your teachers, and most important, your guru. Follow the yama and niyama. His Holiness Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj says that a disciple who has not achieved the yama and niyama should not be initiated even by the first step of knowledge of Brahma Vidya. We need to take very hard and also smart efforts to develop our personality, but if there is a blessing of Sadguru and we understand knowledge and we read the scriptures and practice it, the personality will change. It's also important to read Swarveda, which also talks about the good and bad qualities of a person and how to conquer on the bad qualities. I personally believe even if you just read and follow the 12 rules of Sant Samaj, your personality will change. One of my favorite rules given by His Holiness is one should not think about individual happiness and developments, but he or she must consider both things to be achieved with this world and not alone. Further, we need to also have a commitment, dedication and pure heart towards Sadgurudev, and so if you have to accomplish big in life, it's very important that you think out of box. The successful people or those who have achieved big in life have always been thinking out of box. Also believe that we need to be a trendsetter and not just a follower. It's very important that we set a trend in the society and the society follows us. I just want to also give some helpful tips to all the divine souls, those who are listening this discourse. One must change his perceptions and expectations. Also, it's important that we break our jobs and tasks into manageable parts. We need to set reasonable and realistic goals in our life. We need to set some boundaries while we are doing the work. Don't compromise your values or your beliefs. Always give time for you. That is very important. We need to stop thinking negative. Also, we need to have a good time management. And also nowadays, it's very important to control our diet, and one need to be spiritual if you want to really achieve big in his life. It is always been said that one who conquers the mind will conquer the world. And only Vihangam Yoga meditation teaches you the most ancient, proven and verified technique to control the mind. Sadguru says in Swarveda, विश्व विजय रणधीर हो जो मन जीता जाए परम शत्रु मन जीव का मरि मरि उठत धाय. I will also suggest that we have 100% trust on Sadguru Dev. It's very important to understand the insects, animals, and birds don't go to school or get paid for any of work done, but they still survive. So have a trust in Sadguru Dev and everything will be taken care by him. Further, I also want to say that it's very important that we have a surrenderness to Sadguru Dev. And there are very important dohas in Swarved which I want to chant as closing of my discourse. It is very beautifully said that Atma Samarpan Prabhu Karo Tyag Sakal Abhiman Balanidhi Balapuran Kare Subuddhi Subodh Sagyan Sakal Kamana Sab Bane Sakal Bipada Jai Prabhu Sharanagat Jan Bhaya Anaichchita Sabay. With these beautiful words from Sorved, I just want to say to all the listeners, to the divine souls, that by the grace of Sadguru Dev and whatever you have heard today, your life may change and you achieve every physical, mental, and spiritual goal of your life. Boliye Sadguru Dev Bhagwan ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Amit ji. It was very nice hearing you. We just heard from Amit ji, who is currently in South Africa since last 10 years. And now we are moving towards the question and answer session. I'd like to welcome Dr. Hemant Kumar ji from India. Currently, he is professor in IIT Mumbai. Before this, he was scientist in NASA as well. And it is very nice to have him today in this question and answer session. We would like to hear probably some experiences from him as well. Welcome, Dr. Hemant Kumarji.
Thank you very much, Subhashji.
So we have just heard from Amit ji on today's topic, accomplish big in life. I'd like to start discussion with you, Hemant ji, with your own experience. As I mentioned, you have been a NASA scientist, which is not an easy thing to reach or accomplish. I'd like to connect your personal experience here with this topic. It would be very nice for all the listeners, including me as well, to hear something more on this side with your experience.
Yeah, thank you, Subhashji, and thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure and a unique opportunity to share our own experiences with the audience and listeners. And I welcome all the listeners across the globe who are listening right now. Uh, it has been a journey which I would say it's not that it's easy, but there's something that we don't know much. For instance, when we talk about achieving big in life, we often relate it to just getting some material success in our life, and that's what we confine ourselves to. It's not that it's not required. We all strive to excel. We all try to achieve big in our life. But when we hear these things often and we read from newspapers or listen to TV that somebody has achieved something big, we often think that they are born geniuses, or that these people are of different mindset. They are determined. They are 100% committed. And often we all think ourselves that we are not that great, perhaps, and we can't achieve that. Definitely this big things are for someone else, Google CEO, or these are all of these people were at some point of time were a simple person, just like any other average person, you or me. In fact, the only few, less than 1% in the entire world who are born great. But then what about the remaining 99% or more than that? We're all average persons. So can we achieve something big? Yes. If you go by my school certificates, I have failed subjects. Forget being topper in the class. I've never seen that. I always felt that these people have come from some other planet or something. So can we change ourselves? So when you don't have that even knowledge how to bring change within yourself, how are you going to achieve that? So with time, as things moved on, I got to learn the unique Vihangam Yoga meditation. Now, it's a meditation that has been practiced, it has been perfected by His Holiness Sadguru Shadafal Devji Maharaj by sitting in a cave for 17 long years. And it revived that lost technique of meditation. So, what meditation does, it essentially tells you where are your hidden potential, where is your hidden energy within yourself. We all have heard since our childhood that we all have potential to do big. We have untapped potential that can be harnessed, that can be channelized into something productive in your life. But we don't know how to do that. We have heard about techniques, we have learned from our masters, we have learned from our friends, from our teachers, from our parents. But where is that? We don't know that. So when I got to learn this technique, when I started practicing it, for first few months, practically nothing happened. But when I sustained and I continued doing it, it was only 10 minutes morning and evening, that's all. What I felt slowly that the mind was getting steadied, mind was getting focused. Automatically, you don't have to do anything. The investment is just 10 minutes morning and evening. But with that, the things started happening. And the first thing when I marked it or I tried to understand it was when I was given an exam, and in an exam I forgot an answer, and that answer it just reoccurred to me instantly, which I almost forgot in the class or in the examination hall. It reoccurred to me, and I could literally see the entire book in front of me, and I literally copied the answers from there. So the power of meditation was happening to me, and so that means the mind was getting focused. So I was able to use my energy that was within me to something that uh, would be useful to my life. And on top of that, you also have to start working hard. Once you know that, okay, you have a talent which you can now use it, you also need to channelize it and into something which you want to achieve in life. So from there on, I felt that okay, the meditation was helping me, and I kept on practicing it. And with time, with hard work and perseverance, the commitment, and you also start leading a disciplined life. So I've set my hours of regular hard work, uh, and then of course I moved forward in my life. So in a nutshell, I would say that yeah, meditation does help to accomplish something big in life. Subhashi.
Yeah, thank you, Hemanji. It was very nice hearing your viewpoints and your experience indeed. At one point, you mentioned that when we talk about accomplish big in life, we need to have knowledge at least what we want to achieve, right? And linking this with your this statement, in fact, we have one question in Slido, which says that uh, I seem to seek something in pursuit of accomplishment. However, I don't know what will make me feel most accomplished. So here it connects with your statement. Unless and until we have the knowledge what we want to accomplish, from where we would get a bigger achievement. Unless we know that, we cannot progress further. So I think what you mentioned is meditation definitely helps in clarity, in getting clarifications of all such kind of things. Probably you can add a few more things on this for this particular question.
Yeah, thank you, Subhashi. Actually, it's a very good question, and in fact, the from my point of view, it's the most important question. When we talk about big in life, we achieve it with our hard work. But what we are thinking about is what we have just gained in our physical world, something which we had desired, and that wish was fulfilled. But the bigger picture here is more of a holistic development. And when I say holistic, it would mean materialistic plus spirituality coming into picture. And I would say that Amit ji wrapped up it in a very good way. He talked about education, where the spirituality and reading Vedic texts were equally important. He talked about personality, character, development. That's another important. Of course, you also talked about the order box thinking and trend setting. These things definitely come into picture, but the holistic development is equally important. Are we also becoming a good human being with success? Have we ever introspected that? Are we becoming humble as we get more responsibility at work? Are we being approachable? Are we getting those attributes? If not, are we inculcating them, imbibing them? Or are we striving to cultivate that in our life? What about ethics? What about morality? Are we overlooking that? Are we following scrupulous means to achieve something fast, perhaps meeting the targets? And we all try to take shortcut means. Are we doing that? Are we harming others on the way moving forward? We need to look at this in a complete way. I would say that these attributes, if they are missing, that needs to be a part of your life. It's better to learn them. Perhaps we are seeing our life or success as more of like a race. We are racing forward, which is fine. Why? Because this world is competitive. You go on the top and you want to sustain it. Of course, we all understand that. And the opportunity and the timelines are very, very small. The decisions need to be very, very quick. But at the same time, are we also developing the human character, which Amit ji was mentioning so well? And of course, he took a viewpoint that education today has to be a part of some scriptures, particularly from the ancient science which our forefathers have been, the seers and sages have been teaching us. So that should also be a part of our life. So that's what, Subhaji, I personally feel that we should strive for a holistic development. And that I would think is something accomplishing big in life. You should, by the time you are done with your work, you should have more number of friends than those friends who are just there to have a meeting, and you get your I will get your work done, and then you bid farewell to each other. Not. I believe that you also must have good people around you, so that you also can find time. And of course, you should also try to find time for your family. That's equally important. So we should not overlook that, Subhashji. So that's my take on this question.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hemantji, very much on this particular point. You mentioned that holistic development is very important, not just materialistic. Spiritual development is also important. That's what we heard in survey recitation by Rekha ji as well. And Amit ji also mentioned the same thing. Moving forward to another question, we have two more questions. I'm clubbing these two together. One is anonymous question, and another one is posted by Som Prakash ji. So I'm clubbing these two together. You mentioned here about good habits, disciplined life, ethical values, moral values as well. So one question which is coming from Som Prakash ji is, how can we change our bad habits? It happens sometimes that we know that this is my bad habit, but I'm not able to overcome that. It may be possible that as I mentioned at the beginning time, maybe someone wants to quit smoking, but they are not able to fix that goal, or they're not able to overcome that particular bad habit. So here another question linking it to how Vihangam Yoga meditation helps in overcoming mind control, at the same time overcoming the bad habits as well.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very good question. We all we all are a person who are composed of good and bad habits. The Swarveda advocates us that Swamiji says, "Grahana karo gun jagat se, e gun dekh na koe, e gun dekho aap mein, tyag ratan yatan kar soe." And Swamiji also says that मैं उत्तम ऐसा बनूं जैसा हो या न कोई, नहीं भूत वर्तमान में, नहीं भविष्य जग हो। शुद्ध अशुद्ध दो भेद है, मन ही अवस्था होए, इंद्रण युक्त अशुद्ध है, शुद्ध सोमरस होए. So it's not that all our scriptures do talk about that we all have bad habits and we strive to give it up. We should not keep it with us. That that's a part of this holistic meaning. Now the question which was rightly asked, that how do you achieve that? We have heard that okay, many people want to give up their bad habits or something that they have adopted from their friends or from the environment which they live in, and now they want to give up. They really want to achieve that in their life. They want to become a better person. That's all. So how do you do that? Now Vihangam yoga meditation is not just a technique, but it is a medically proven way that just 10 minutes of meditation enhances your alpha waves. Now, alpha waves actually, the moment that enhances, automatically your beta and theta waves, they come down. The delta waves come down. What does that mean? It simply means that you are in a state which we call restful alertness. Now, your decision power increases, which of course which would be helpful and productive in your material world, in your workplace. But at the same time, the negative thoughts, they starts decreasing. We have seen, we've done the medical research with a group of people. We have seen that the de-addiction of nicotine and alcohol is 50 to 70%, and some people have given up their bad habits or addictions in within few days. At times you need to take hard decisions. Yes, you can take, but you need to sustain that hard decisions which you have just made. How do you do that? You need power from within. You need your atmic bal. You need your power from the soul. Swami ji says, bal chaya prabhu se mile, पूर्ण काम सब होए, प्रारंभ प्रभु से करे, गति आध्यात्मिक होए. The energy is within you. The meditation unravels it. It brings forth from inside like a volcano. It's dormant now. That energy is within you. We all have the power to bring change within us. We need to take the right step. It could be a baby step. Swamiji says, कार्य सृष्टि क्रम से करे, लघु से दीर्घ होए, धीर वीर संयम रहे, निश्चय पूर्ण सोए. You can take a baby step. You don't have to take a big step in the first instance. Take a small step and then move forward. And the meditation helps you, and not it helps you, it helps you sustain it through your life. And that's what I would think, Subhasji, that striving to become for a holistic development and to become a better human. Subhasji.
Ji, Hemant ji, since you said a word, sustainability, I think I'd like to connect my next question with this word. Many a times we have seen, we have noticed some people have accomplished one particular big goal in their life, and we have noticed that they have changed thereafter. Change, I'm saying, maybe not always in positive side. They have changed thereafter in the negative side as well. They are not humble enough. They are not being considered as a good person. We have seen some people in this whole world. So the question here, what I want to put to you is, even if suppose we achieve or we accomplish something big in life, the life doesn't end there. We have to maintain it. We have to sustain with the same quality thereafter. But is it easy enough to do that? What different kind of characteristics or what different kind of practices or what exactly type of effort we need to make to sustain and maintain that level?
Yeah, that's another very good question. And we all work hard to accomplish something big in our life. That has been the topic today for our discussion. But people often don't talk about how to sustain that. We have worked hard to reach the highest level, highest point of the pyramid. But then there are people who would want to bring you down. Okay, but I take it a little differently. Some of the things I've already covered, but now we have achieved our goal, aim, whatever we wanted to become, we are there. But are we done yet? No, we need to sustain it. See, with hard work, you get success. With success, you get more responsibility at work. That would mean that a typical work environment, you get more projects, more deadlines to meet, more projects to manage and handle, more people to handle. What would happen? With time, with the race of life, you get stressed out. So this becomes the source of stress itself, and no wonder. Not just in the Western countries, it's happening across the globe, across the metropolitans. We are seeing that people are getting stressed, and they're talking about how to de-stress yourself. And that's where the meditation and the mind controls comes into picture. We have our energy within us. We want to sustain it. The Harvard Business Review recommends 10 minutes of meditation for all managers at all levels. And all these managers have been successful in their life. They're doing good. They're taking important decisions at some hierarchical level in their company. But why does Harvard Business Review? Early, there were only few articles that comes out. Now it's a routine thing. Why? Because the meditation affects the prefrontal cortex of your brain region that gets thicker with meditation. And that's what we want. That's the region which helps you to give you the decision making power and also helps you to de stress yourself. And again, I just mentioned about the enhanced alpha waves, which gives you rest of alertness. So we need to sustain that, and that sustenance does happen with meditation. So we cannot ignore the meditation aspect. And of course, in parallel, it's also building you the character of being human. It helps you to or helps you prevent taking not only just bad decisions in your physical world, but preventing you from doing damage to others and harm to yourself by overlooking. So we need to think of ourselves, and at the same time, of course, we also need to be healthy. And that's equally important. So the attributes that makes us human, that grows within ourselves, and that happens why? Because we are controlling our mind. It is the mind that is the source of all good and bad thoughts. So it prevents us from going in the direction of the bad thoughts or negative thoughts, negativity, and we come and move towards something which makes us more humble, polite, approachable, ethical, and moral values anyway enhances within us. So that's what I think is important to I would say that would sum up or summarize this entire thing when we say that accomplishing being in life. I hope I've been able to contribute what I was here meant for. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Subhash.
Thank you very much, Hemant ji. It was very nice hearing you, and I'm sure all the listeners have been benefited from whatever you have mentioned just right now, and also, of course, from Amit ji. Honoring time, I'd like to thank you again, Hemant ji, for being us today to take some of the questions along with your personal experience and your other spiritual experiences as well. Thank you very much being with us today. Now we are moving towards the end of this session, but before that, I'd like to just summarize what we discussed today. The topic today was accomplish big in life, and we had Amit ji from South Africa as one of the speaker, Hemant ji as another speaker in question and answer session. From overall, what I can see is accomplishing big in life. That big definition can be dependent on person to person, individual to individual. Something big for someone may be small for other, or something is small for someone may be big for other. So the goal to be set is by individual. But whatever goal we set, there are certain specific characteristics which we need to continue and follow. And some of these which we heard from Amit ji as well as from Hemant ji are like this. We have to be committed enough. We have to be hard-working person. We have to have a disciplined life, ethical value, moral value, knowledge, education, and mind clarity. The control over mind is very important. Respecting our elders, especially Guru as well, is very important. We have to focus on all these things to move forward as far as we have to accomplish big in our life. Thank you very much today joining us, Amit ji as well as Hemant ji. Now, moving towards the end of the session, thank you very much to all the listeners and our speakers today. to contribute to this particular session, accomplish big in life. We'll join again next Sunday, same time. The last statement which I'd like to make here is, which Amit ji had made, spiritual life is the best life, and our life should be combination of materialistic as well as spiritual accomplishment. We try, we fail, we try again, we fail again, but one day we will get the success which we want to achieve. The pain of doing something is less than the pain of doing nothing. If the pain of doing nothing increases, we will definitely accomplish the big in our life. With this, I'd like to close today's session. Jai Sadgurudev, thank you very much for joining us today.
शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांति, देव सदा फल शांतिमय, शांति शांति सुख शांति।